All right, guys, we got the post fight, and Khabib Nurmagomedov is sitting at the press conference by himself right now. And there's Dana White.
He's been on Instagram already.
Khabib, Conor always tries different things to get inside your head. Are you surprised that he's not here?
And they just said, Khabib, Conor always tries different things to get inside your head. Are you surprised?
If you talk about he go inside my head, we're gonna say Saturday night. We're gonna say this. Are you surprised that he's not here, or were you expecting this? No, I don't think about him. You know, I have a schedule. 3 p.m. This company has to begin because I have schedule. I have to make weight. I have to worry about myself. Why I have to think about him? He come or not? If somebody late, this is not my problem. Brooklyn happened 6 months ago.
Oh, that is pre-fight. Yeah, I'm trying to get to the press conference. Yeah, trying to get to the post-fight press conference here.
Okay.
All right, we're trying to get the post-fight press conference here. I was on UFC.tv. I thought that was the post-fight. Apparently, that was a pre-fight. Okay, now we got the post-fight press conference. They're still waiting. Still waiting for people to show up. What the hell just happened? Sorry, I got a call from a good friend. I had to take that real quick. That's why I stopped and come back. But Robert, get Khabib to sign them. Says he went to court for that, right? Was that disgusting? At Panhead Bob, no. I'm saying he's white, Russian, but he's Muslim in faith. It sucks that he's Muslim. I like him because he's white, though. At Panhead Bob, actually glad he won because Conor is into gay marriage and transsexuals and shit. All right. Khabib won and made chaos. Let's not try to get this too political here. But you're welcome, DJ671. Where's Dave the player? Should be able to see David in here. Say hi, David. There he is. David's gonna sit in here on the press conference. What did you think of that, David?
That was insane.
I mean, have you ever seen anything like that?
No, I've never. I don't think I've ever seen anything thrown in a fighter. At a UFC event. Even to see when the fighters jump out of the cage, and like this is insane. Like growing up watching the UFC with just the best, most respectful people, with people like Forrest Griffin in there, and then now seeing this as some of these, like, even the best people, like, I know Khabib isn't, like, a horrible person, but I don't know what's happening to the UFC.
So you don't think this is just like a one-day issue? You think this is something
it's already not a one-day issue. And we've already seen stuff happening, and all of this crap just got brought into the octagon. It got brought before. Everything like this had stayed out the octagon. Khabib just brought it all into the fight.
Well,
he broke the barrier.
Well, it went out of the octagon and into the crowd.
But he brought it into the event.
So what's worse, do you think? What Conor did or what Khabib did? My wife says Conor.
As far as for the health of the UFC, what Khabib did. Because now we're going to see stuff.
Third time, Robert Kerrigan won the gloves. He was within 3 seconds of the winning time. What is disgusting is the way these guys are blowing this up into some type of tragedy. Poor Conor. Boo-hoo. Khabib might not be allowed back in the country. Give me a break, Rogan. Yeah, I thought Rogan was a bit... I thought he was over-exaggerating a bit, especially since he's, you know, been a little buddy-buddy with Khabib. I know he tries to be unbiased for the most part, but, you know, he was wearing Khabib's little headdress and, you know, doing that kind of thing.
I don't think what Khabib did was actually that bad compared to some of the other stuff that's happening, but he did it in the event, and that is not going to be good for the UFC. Khabib
jumped the fence, but did Khabib actually assault someone? What were you saying that you read, David, on MMA Junkie?
So,
Young David's been doing research.
MMA Junkie, they just said he attacked a cornermate. In SB Nation, which the MMA Junkie one was published really, really fast. SB Nation waited a little while. And SB Nation said that Khabib threw his mouthpiece at Conor's corner and then jumped out and attacked Conor's training partner, Dylan Danis.
Okay, Dylan Danis. Dylan Danis kind of deserves to be punched in the face if you know who Dylan Danis is. Now I know I'm kind of inciting violence there, but the guy is an asshole at the end of the day. Anybody who knows who Dylan Danis was, yeah, that was pretty dumb, says May Melgors. It was more than just a fight; it was personal. Officially, Khabib won the match, but there was still pride on the line after that. But he won, so Dana is only so pissed because his Golden Goose got his ass thoroughly stomped. They should give him his win and let him retire. Now, will he retire? Khabib Nurmagomedov, we're still waiting on these guys to show up for the press conference, but will he retire? He said if he beat Conor McGregor that he would retire. So at that point, it really doesn't matter what the UFC does to him if he's not in the UFC. Now, he may want to stick around under Dana's wing for a little bit until this blows over because he could be facing criminal assault charges. And if you think Dana White didn't have anything to do with helping Conor get away from those criminal assault charges, I got some shit to sell you. We can talk about this later, and but you're living in an alternate universe.
I'm gonna get some water.
What were you saying?
Yeah. Good analysis, young David, says Panhead Bob. 2 wrongs don't make a right. You're right. He said he was going to retire, I heard. I don't see how they could not give him the win. Conor was the only one doing illegal stuff in the fight. No, I don't see how you could not give him the win. I don't know if you guys heard me mention the reason I believe Dana didn't put the belt around Khabib was you could hear Dana go up to Khabib and clearly say, they're going to start throwing stuff into the cage. You need to get out of here right now. And then he started calling police around, and they surrounded Khabib with police and security guards and walked him to the back. And towards the end there, some fans, unfortunately, did start to throw some drinks and a few things. Luckily, it didn't start. It could have gotten a lot more out of hand.
Well, you turned off the feed, so we actually don't know what happened after the feed went out.
No, that was the end of it.
Well, the crowd was still there.
Brock, Ronda, Conor, all built up as the greatest fighters ever, then beaten by better fighters. Very true. Khabib is the greatest lightweight ever. If he never fights again, he will always be the true lightweight GOAT. I think that's hard to argue with right now, Jason. Conor held the fence and the gloves, cheating bastard. Bro, listen, McGregor did something stupid. He went to jail. If he beats Tony, then yeah. McGregor did not go to jail, actually. McGregor got a little bit of community service, which was just talking to kids. It was like 40 hours community service and probation. So Conor McGregor did not ever go to jail. McGregor didn't get suspended for his action. If Khabib does, this is BS. I agree 100%, Jason. Trevi says, WTF. Oh, if he beats Tony, then yeah. And there's unfinished business with Tony. That's a fight that's been made, what, 4 or 5 times, too. So that's got to be something. Can Khabib retire without fighting Tony Ferguson? You know, where does Khabib go from here if he continues to fight? Where does Conor go? What's next for Conor? I say it's the Nate Diaz trilogy. I'm still interested in seeing that matchup, but I'd like to see Khabib versus Tony. Tony was in a war tonight with Anthony Pettis. I mean, he got shook. He got rocked several times. And that was a good Anthony Pettis. And that was a Tony Ferguson coming back probably a little too early on a knee injury. Khabib should be DQ'd for that. That's the first time one I've heard Jasper get stripped or get that rematch, says Jasper. I have to disagree with you a little bit, but he'll fight again. If the UFC doesn't let him, then he'll probably make more money fighting in Bellator. UFC's loss. The UFC's not going to try to stop him from fighting again. That I don't think so.
We have a name of who landed the right hand on Conor. It was one of Nurmagomedov's cornermen, Zubera Tukugov.
You see?
This is from Sherdog.
Zubera Tukurov, a professional fighter, 18-4, and he's the one that jumped in the cage and landed a shot on Conor after the fight.
Very interesting. Sherdog does not name. Sherdog goes back to naming just one of Conor's cornermen as the person who could be attacked.
He was held in a holding cell, says Jeffrey. And that's a lot different than being put in jail, though. I mean, that's my opinion. You know, everyone's entitled to theirs. I was not impressed by Tony's performance, Jason says. You got to say that in a GSP accent, though. Conor did go to jail, says Bailey. No, he must fight Tony, says Third Time. Judd said that was crazy. Khabib is pathetic, and he should be stripped of his belt, says You Triggered. Khabib wouldn't last in a boxing ring with me, says Jeffrey. Yeah, I don't know about that. Muslims. Khabib is a disgrace to the MMA sport. Not only did Khabib out-wrestle Conor, he stood in front of him and exchanged shots. If you want to go back to the fight and not the melee afterwards, I'm impressed with that. Khabib versus Tony would be great, but I don't see anyone beating Khabib, says Justin. I think Khabib beats Tony too, to be honest. What Conor did was worse, and I agree with Jason. I wish the fight was on the feet the whole time. Khabib kept the fight on the ground. Even after winning, he was extremely disrespectful. Jason says Conor assaulted with a weapon. Great point, Jason. Kicked out of the UFC the whole time, is in jail. Jan Defense says Dana will quickly be looking for another fighter to carry the UFC banner and build them up as the greatest fighter ever. Well, if Conor wants a rematch, Conor's still going to get whatever Conor wants at the end of the day. Trevi says inbred pieces. I know Trevi's a big Conor fan, though. Who won? Someone please. Khabib Nurmagomedov won by choke or by neck crank officially. Or was it 3 minutes, 3 seconds of the 4th round? Ferguson versus Dustin Poirier for vacant title. Well, Poirier's still got to get past Nate Diaz first. I don't think it's going to be a vacant title, but I do think Nate Diaz and Dustin should fight for a 165-pound title. I think somebody should fight for that 165-pound title. I think it makes sense, and I think it solves a lot of problems. To be honest. You done, young David? Oh. Or did you just go to get a drink? Oh, okay.
Was barking.
Oh, you're letting the dog out.
So,
Thank you.
Now I'm looking at CBS. They're saying they don't know who. They're saying they don't know who Khabib attacked, but Dylan Dennis was fighting with Khabib. Dylan Dennis was punching Khabib out there, but they don't know who. But they're not sure yet who Khabib went after.
Oh yeah.
And apparently, McGregor was getting attacked by whoever was I named before. Well, CBS doesn't actually name him in here, and someone who,
but Sherdog did.
Yeah, Sherdog named him. And it says just someone who hopped the octagon. It just says someone who hopped the octagon, but it's saying that there were fans jumping the barrier into the ringside area.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which I didn't see. But since Conor was getting attacked by two people,
things were definitely getting pretty nuts. Khabib landing that overhand right was madness, says Andy Boy. I'm a Conor fan, but Khabib won. I understand, but the sportsmanship was disgraceful. Yeah. If Khabib had got the belt, people would have jumped him. Yeah, Dana did a good job of getting him out of the cage. That was a smart thing to do. Conor tapped, end of match. What happens after is a separate incident. I agree, Jennifer. You can't strip him of the belt. I mean, could you suspend him for disorderly conduct? Could he face criminal charges? All those things are possible, but it can't have any outcome on the result of the fight.
It can't have any outcome on the result of the fight. I would say that it can, that it could.
No rematch will just be the same result. I agree, Jennifer. Khabib, Velasquez, Conor. Now, and I mean,
Khabib pulled Conor.
I wanted it to be a competitive fight, but, you know, I've talked about it. I've kind of leaned towards this is probably what happened pretty much the whole time. I mean, I think I said, not to pat myself on the back, but I believe I said choke 3 minutes and 30 seconds the fourth round. I think I was 27 seconds off. Only one closer was the winner of the gloves there, Robert. Conor looked fine to me. Looked exactly like he does against anyone who can wrestle at all. Once he gets taken down, the mat is like super glue to his back. Just nothing from his back. Yeah, he's not a fighter that does well against grapplers. And we know that. I mean, he got a couple chances to stand with Khabib. He wasn't able to land shots. Khabib landed shots. Bison, that is my son, young David. If he don't fight for a year, stripped. Who won? Conor? No, Khabib Nurmagomedov won by submission. Fourth round. Going to jail means being sentenced, doing time in jail, and serving that time. That never happened. I agree, Panhead Bob. I agree, this looks exactly like the first Diaz fight. Go drink some vodka. I drank all my vodka. It's empty.
Oh, goodness. How much of that was tonight?
It wasn't full at the beginning. There was a decent amount, but Dana White only gonna get dollar signs. Yeah, he only wants the money. Does Conor fight for ESPN now? Bison says, Art, no, I am not in my bathroom. Thank you. This is a curtain my wife put up to block us off from the rest of the living room. So she doesn't have to be intruded by our streams. And somebody's sitting down here. Okay, fighters are starting to come in and sit down at the table now. Conor landed an illegal knee to Khabib's head while they were on the ground. What time is it? It is 10:45 Pacific. The ref said nothing, says Jason. The ref let Conor cheat. Elanya says, no way. I would have done a better job than that ref. Yeah, he didn't do much. Russia versus Ireland. Are they going to strip him? No, I don't think so. UFC 230. Oh, I said, what time is it? Khabib time. I get what you're saying. Conor thinks there are no consequences for his actions and shit talk. Khabib doesn't talk the talk, he walks the walk. I need to see this well. Happy Conor lost. Didn't know you were doing this. JT, I just kind of decided to do a post-fight after this. I ended a little earlier than I had planned on. I got a call from a friend that wanted to talk about the fight. And then I just decided I want to see the press conference, and this is just, it kind of seemed like everything was up in the air. So I wanted to continue to talk about this. Get the fook over people. Conor threw dollies at people. Talked about people's families. Conor hangs out with gangsters for fun. Khabib lives with gangsters because he has to. Hell yeah. Peanut butter jelly times, Jeffrey. I sure hope Khabib doesn't get stripped. He's not going to get stripped. I wanted Khabib to win, but I hope Conor still has a strong mentality. Yeah, I like both guys for the sport, for sure. Where are all the fans of the next UFC champ, Big John Judd? And honestly, I'm honestly not even sure who they're interviewing right now.
Exciting fight for the fans. We're both technical fighters. I feel like he would be the next logical step in my career. So yeah, I think Jan would be a great fight for me.
Oh, looks like that's Dominic Reyes.
Congrats on the win. Were you expecting to have that type of performance? Did you maybe think Ovens would bring a little more resistance to what you were doing in there?
I wanted Khabib to win, but I hope... Conor got what he deserves, says Owen Reyes. Yep. No, I am not wearing a SpongeBob shirt. You guys are great tonight. No, it's Under Armour shirt, though. Not a big SpongeBob fan, sorry. Herb Dean was trying to let the fight keep flowing. That's why he was a bit relaxed on things. And he usually is, to be fair. That's Herb Dean's style. Herb Dean just kind of lets the fight go. He's almost getting like Mario lately. Almost kind of like if he dies, he dies. If you watch the CB Dalloway fight. Last one. Mike, how do I donate to you for all the shout out of my big boy, John Judd? You can hit me up on PayPal. If you're at paypal.me/fightswithfriends. Anybody hit that up, I greatly appreciate it. My super chat is down temporarily. But I'm put this on here. You'll have to take away the space because it won't let me put a link on here. Even though it's my own stream. Conor is an amazing fighter, don't get me wrong, but this result should not surprise anyone. I agree. Khabib even knocked Conor down. Yes, he did. Who would have thought? Not me. So many fighters said Khabib was getting KO'd. Thank you, Jaspreet. I appreciate it. I predicted it perfect until the result. Jaspreet, miss you, kiss you. What's your thoughts on Ferguson? You know, he was out for 6 months. I wonder how much that knee was hurting him, but he was in a battle with Anthony Pettis. That fight could have went either way if Anthony Pettis' hand hadn't been broken.
Do you feel like this is the type of performance that is sort of
Who would you have in Khabib versus Ferguson? Oh, Khabib all day. Yeah, it is insane that Khabib knocked him down. I would have never called that. KO and rematch. Just Freak says he proved us wrong. They were both bleeding hella. Do you think they'll have a rematch, Trevi? I don't think so. Maybe Conor should fight Tony.
How are you going to celebrate tonight?
Says JT. That might not be a bad fight. But I think Tony would try to take Conor down too.
Over here, Dom. Congratulations on the win. My question is, how did you feel going in there? Like,
so honestly, I'd like to see Conor fight more of a striker next. I want to see him fight Nate Diaz. I'd like to see that trilogy fight, and then I'd still like to see Tony versus Khabib, because that's the fight that we still never got. That's the unfinished business. Conor should retire, says Jeffrey. Mayweather made him a lot of money. Yeah, he did. Khabib is supposed to retire. Yeah, he said if he beat Conor, that he might retire. Mike, let's do an MMA match. Your son versus John Judd. I will put up the cash. I don't know who John Judd is, but my son's not much of a fighter. Yeah, he's a computer programmer. He might fight him on Street Fighter. McGregor versus GSP, classic. Or versus Gap. Just bump into Khabib. He's talking. He's on my face. I threw a left, knocked him out. His Dagestani rats are after me. Need to run. Oh, God. If Conor doesn't make excuses, I will have even more respect. I don't see how he really can after that. Oh, I meant Conor versus GSP. I hear you. Conor versus Diaz in 165 will be great. Win or lose, Khabib and Conor are both winners. They made a whole lot of money tonight. Or a lot of money. They definitely made a lot of money. Tony and Khabib would be an amazing fight, because if Tony gets taken down, he would not necessarily be in that much trouble. It would be fun to watch. Yeah, I think that's definitely a more competitive fight. Conor just doesn't have a ground game. It's not something he really trains. I mean, he's definitely trained it in the past. And Dominic Reyes says, I had a better left hand than Conor tonight. Yeah, that's funny. I think he might be the only fighter that showed up so far. Kind of surprising. Dominic Reyes has the press to himself. Yeah, I just ran into Conor. He tried to choke me out, but I knocked him out. The Irish are coming. J.R. Smith versus Hennessy and Supreme, UFC 230. Didn't help he spent so much time preparing for Mayweather. No, I mean, that's been like 2 years, but he wasn't able to knock Khabib out. I was surprised when they were standing that he wasn't able to damage Khabib more. And I think Khabib sent a message. It's like, you're going to say these things, and I'm not saying you should be jumping out of the cage into the crowd. I'm not saying that. I don't endorse that. But you say the kind of things that Conor said, and to Conor, it's part of the game. And I would compare this a little bit to what was going on before they both got suspended with Chael Sonnen and Wanderlei Silva. Chael Sonnen was playing a game. He was trying to get in Wanderlei Silva's head, and he was talking, he was talking almost trash stuff. Wanderlei Silva does not play fighting. Wanderlei Silva does not play life, and that guy will kill you. So he's probably lucky he didn't end up fighting him. Same kind of situation here. Khabib's not as vicious of a person as Wanderlei Silva is, but he's not going to let you walk all over him and his family's name either. He's going to come back at you. Flat Earth Deacon says UFC equals dead. Yeah, I don't know about that. Kanye West for president 2020. Diaz versus Tony, or Khabib versus Tony Khabib versus Diaz would all be much better fight than a rematch of this fight. Yeah, I don't want to see a rematch of this fight. Conor got inside his own mind, says Tam. I think he might have. Khabib is a real fighter and real man. So if Conor, but Khabib is no BS. Oh, so is Conor, but Khabib is no BS. Absolutely. Yeah, he had a game plan tonight. He played it to perfection. But he also stood with Conor. And he took some chances. I mean, he took some chances for the crowd. He did some things that you would not expect him to do. And you might say unnecessary chances. He got away with them. Like we said, he even floored Conor. Which was amazing. I don't know what Conor's training camp looked like. I don't want to make excuses for him. I'm definitely not going to do that. But we have talked about that he's acted kind of erratic. He was on Ariel Wani about 4 or 5 days before the fight. He didn't do much media. But he did do Ariel Wani, and he just said basically, look, I'm not perfect. He says, I'm not a choir boy. He says, yeah, you know, I've done some things. I've said some things. And at the end of the day, only God can judge me. You know, kind of went that route. Conor just isn't hungry anymore. Well, I'll tell you what. If I got paid $100 million to jump in the ring with somebody, I'm not fighting anybody ever again. Why? What's up with Dana not giving the belt to Khabib? He'll give the belt to him. You could hear Dana White saying to Khabib, though, he said, you need to get out of the cage right now because these people are going to start throwing things. And then a bunch of security and police surrounded him and escorted him out of the cage. I don't think it had anything to do with whether or not he wanted to give him his belt.
Yeah, the quote.
He never made Khabib's name on it. He thought Conor was going to win. He thought Conor was going to win, says Archangel.
Yeah, the quote from...
Hey,
Dana.
Mark, where did that little thing sitting next to you go? Oh, David, go ahead.
I was saying the quote from Dana, he said, if I put this belt on you, everyone's going to start throwing shit into the octagon.
Okay. So smart.
It was a safety thing, not a denial.
Yeah, definitely a safety thing. Conor's one of the most exciting, fun, and dangerous fighters in the world within the first 2 rounds. After that, very average. I agree. The real reason Khabib jumped out of the octagon is because someone called him Kebab. Oh, jeez. Conor fought all midgets to build up his name. Who the fuck is Conor? McGregor's BS whiskey didn't help him. Yeah, I'm not sure how Prop 12 whiskey is going to do after this either. That's a good point. I don't think he sold a lot of whiskey tonight.
Well, they might be drowning their sorrows in it.
I almost bought some. My wife says they might be drowning their sorrows in it. I tried to see if I could buy some today to see how much it was. There was none of the liquor stores around me were selling it yet. I don't know if anybody else has tried it yet. But
Of course, she's Irish. She's selling whiskey.
that's why I went the Russian route and finished off a bottle of vodka. But
Oh, I thought it was because you knew he was going to win.
well, that too. My wife, she's over on the couch. Should have fought Nate. What about Khabib knocking down Conor? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I bet he really wishes he would have fought Nate now. McGregor came out with his own whiskey for this fight because he knew his fans would need it after the fight. Good point, Jason. Royce Gracie used to beat everyone with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Is Russian Sambo the newest, greatest grappling discipline? When Khabib gets in there, it might be. I've seen a few of these guys get stopped in PFL. A few of these Dagestani guys that actually had Khabib in their corner that trade with him. none of those guys have made it to the finals so far in PFL. They just had the semifinals and they had the quarterfinals and semifinals yesterday, but it was only for lightweights and heavyweights. So we'll get to see more of them, but I think they've all lost at least one match in the tournament. Payout for Khabib and McGregor will be held by commission. Yeah, so it was a little interesting. They don't usually disclose the payouts before the fight. This is the first time that I've been able to find it. The disclosed payout was $2 million for Khabib and $3 million for Conor. Now, with pay-per-view points involved, I know Conor mentioned he thought he could make as much as $50 million. I don't know how many pay-per-views this ended up selling. If it hit $3 million, he probably made $50 million. I don't know that that's the case. Khabib has never lost, and he's in a lightweight division. Let that sink in. 3 arrested from Khabib's camp for attacking Conor. No matter what you think his competition was, is Khabib charged? I'm not sure. That's why I'm not sure if he's going to be at the press conference. So I'm kind of just waiting by to see, what happens. If anybody comes in, I mean, it didn't seem that there was a lot of Russian fans there. They didn't make a lot of noise for Khabib. There was a lot of booing for Khabib, a lot of cheering for Conor. And then, like I said, obviously, Khabib was in a little bit of danger afterwards. No matter what you think his competition was, is Khabib charged? Can he still be disqualified? I hope not. No, I don't believe so. No, Bruce Buffer called him the winner inside the cage. He said afterwards, he said the winner 5 minutes or whatever it was, 4 minutes and 3 seconds into the 4th round by neck crank and still champion Khabib Nurmagomedov. So I don't think you're going to out. I don't think that's going to be undone. I don't think it's ever been undone in MMA. Except for when somebody fails for a substance, and I don't see that happening with Khabib. WTF happened with Conor. He didn't do S. Felt like an ending to a Monday Night Raw episode. A little bit, Binder. Terrible way to end the fight. Anticlimactic as hell. BJJ is still the best submission grappling system in the world, but when you have ultimate wrestling technique like Khabib, it's hard to do anything from your back to a guy like that. Khabib has to be one of the best lightweights ever. He talked about retiring after this. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to see if he is going to. Well, but I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so it sounds like Binder to me. Is it Bahinder? I can't say that. Sorry. I'm not sure how to pronounce Binder. No disrespect, man. It looks like Binder to me. I hear you. Just by superior positioning, Khabib was hurting Conor's pride. Yeah, the way he was wrapping his legs and feet underneath Conor's legs and just holding him there and hitting him. I think he really did try to take him into deeper waters to punish him. Which, I mean, what a chance to take. Too much Russian vodka, my friend. Oh, you mean like Conor Mike? I'm a big fan. I enjoy your podcast, but Big John Judd will be a UFC champ. Mark my words. Hey, bro. So you know if charges were pressed or a potential for charges? I have not seen anything yet. There's definitely they're looking at potential charges on 3 fighters, on 3 people. I haven't seen Khabib Nurmagomedov's name come up yet. Tony Ferguson was a beast tonight. He definitely got tested. I mean, Anthony Pettis hit him with, he hit him clean with some big shots. And he didn't go out. So, I mean, that part was big. I'm not sure why they're taking so long to get the other fighters to the press conference here. I was hoping to hear from Conor and Khabib here.
I doubt they can be in the same room.
A wrestler with good head movement will always beat Conor. Yeah, it seems like it. Sounds like a guy with only one toe. Mike, we were all drunk, and I feel for your poor wife because we were all crazy. Love you, bro. I hear you, Jet. Hey, it's just like being at a real live UFC event. I'll tell you, there's not much difference. Everybody's drunk. Usually before the first fight starts. Conor has a tough fight with Nate, Floyd, Tony, whoever he tries to fight. Well, Dennis Seaver might want a rematch, so. Why won't they bring out anyone else? My wife is crazy as us.
They're getting their fingerprints.
Good thing this was in Vegas and not Ireland. My weed is wearing off, yes, sir. No easy fights for him. My wife says they're fingerprinting him first. That very well could be. Oh, wait, see if one of these reporters falls asleep. They got their cameras ready. And it's funny, you used to see the big cameras up, and now I see this guy. One reporter has a laptop ready with this camera. One guy literally just has a big phone. Looks like a Samsung Galaxy or maybe one of the new iPhones. Up on a dock with the charging cable in it. Is Khabib going to get jailed? I imagine he's at least going to get booked. Isaac said, I am from Malta. Well, hello in Malta. I think it's gross how much Dana kisses Conor's ass. It's completely unprofessional, looks terrible for a guy who is supposed to be the president of the UFC and be biased. I agree, and he's admitted himself that he's biased towards Conor, and that's not a good thing. Tony versus Khabib is the fight. Why did Khabib attack Dylan Dennis? Did that guy talk trash to Khabib? Yes. He's been talking trash to Khabib for a while, and anybody who will listen. He did it in Bellator, he did it after his fight in Bellator, and he did it during the fight, and he said something to Khabib right after the fight, too. Your wife was like mine, a true saint, because my house is a war zone. I hear you, Judge. Not be biased, mean. Dana, very biased, yes. Binder says he knows who makes him money. Joe Rogan said Dana was talking to Khabib before he jumped out of the cage. Yeah, I don't know what he said. I didn't hear him say anything before he jumped out of the cage. Dennis is definitely a Conor wannabe, Jason. Khabib versus Davis would be insane. Davis is a beast, and we all see what Khabib can do. You mean Davis or Danis? And Conor is a has-been. Well, it's one fight. Dylan said that Conor could out-grapple. Dylan said that Conor could out-grapple Conor. You mean that Conor could out-grapple Khabib, maybe? Khabib deserved the win, but I am a Conor McGregor fan. And there's still going to be a lot of them after tonight. He does everything Conor tells him to. He definitely does. That's what bias is behind her, regardless of the money. McGregor given payout, Khabib payout still withheld. This is all the unfolding from putting Trump in office. Oh my God. And Tony Ferguson is at the table. Let's see what Tony Ferguson has to say. Woodley was sort of defending Khabib.
Tony, congratulations.
He said Conor's ground game was better than Khabib. I don't see Conor ever talking.
What this moment means to you after all that you went through.
Oh, ever taking another win, honestly.
Emotion, I couldn't even tell. It wasn't even crying. It wasn't even laughing. It was like all of the above. I don't want to bore you guys with my speeches or anything.
And Tony Ferguson, very ecstatic
I left it all in the cage.
after being out for so
It's
long.
been a long, long year for me. You guys have no idea the stuff that I went through. I think you guys have seen a little bit, but tonight,
And still wearing those sunglasses inside.
You guys saw me in there fighting my heart out.
I know you were confident in your healing and the surgery and everything, but when he comes out and just kicks your leg right off the start of the fight, was there
Let's get a little audio on the press conference. I think we're good with that.
Where you paused or anything along those lines?
Yeah, I smiled. And as soon as I smiled, he smiled back. I think that was the one, the pinnacle of the moment where we decided that we were going to have fun in there. And we were just going to let it all go.
Yeah, they were definitely enjoying themselves.
He was blocking a lot of my punches and he was bunched up.
UFC done as fuck. Conor doesn't even need to fight anymore. No, for sure. He has enough money. Conor could tell Dana he won't fight until Khabib gives him the belt and retires. Dana would say, no problem, buddy. I'll find him right now.
Once I did, his conditioning was checked. I made him quit.
You definitely got hurt for a second. Can you tell
And
us
Tony says he made him quit.
that and what was going through your mind as you bounced
And the
back?
reporter says, hey, you were hurt.
I haven't sparred in probably about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, check that out. Okay, I have a good group of people that I rely on that we really do they coach me and they drill me, and I have to rely on my own methodology of just my training from previous sports. When I do that, you don't want to take too many hits to the head or the body anymore in sparring. You don't need to do that, especially at this high level where I'm at. I'm the fucking champ. You guys realize that, right? I've been the champ. I am the champ.
And Tony Ferguson just said, I am the champ. I've been the champ.
Media's come over there and I yell at all you guys. Don't be feeding that bullshit. Straight up. I am the champ. I don't have a belt up here. I don't need to have a belt up here to be the champ. So if you guys want to feed that, go ahead. Put that in
Now, he was the interim champ that when he was supposed to fight Khabib.
This is an Olympic level type of sport and you need to be cleaned up. I've been training like an Olympian. I've took so many different things out of my life that I didn't need anymore, and I just felt lifted. So awesome. Such a great feeling.
Well, and you mentioned the main event. It seemed like you would be in line for the winner. I mean, that would be.
I just love all the MMA fans coming out. I've been fighting since 1999, and I love how far it has come. But my son will be champ one day. Big John Judd. Remember the name, trust me. All right, I won't forget it. To be honest, I wanted Khabib to get dropped. But as happens.
We need to try this out again.
People trash Khabib's striking, but...
Still the fucking champ. There's no BS.
Well, his striking looked a lot better tonight than it did against Ali Quinta.
He looked like a deer in headlights. Nobody wants to be trapped inside that cage with me. They don't want to get cut by my elbows. They don't want to get hit by any of my kicks, and they don't want their conditioning checked by me.
Seems to be Tony wants a fight with Conor McGregor.
Alright, I got a news for them.
Tony, right here. Anthony Pettis' corner, they stopped.
He says he's a champ. I haven't heard him mention Khabib's name yet.
First off, could you tell us what was going on with his hand? And second, what do you think about corners? I mean, we've been saying this for a while that we need to see more corners stopping fights where they think their fighter can't go. What's your thoughts on?
Crazy thing is, I actually love watching Conor fight and won't deny how good he is. It's other people around him and all his ass kissers that make me sick. Oh, I love watching him fight. I'm a fan.
Doesn't matter who's going to be put in front of me. Their will is going to be tested.
I can't wait for Brock versus DC. DC will kill him. Oh, absolutely. Is Conor's career over? If Conor wants his career to be over, I guess it's over. I don't see him wanting to go out like that, but he did not look good tonight. Oh, he says he has his belt in his room, and he'll go up to 170 and clean up that division. I don't know about all that. But I'm sure he probably does still have that interim belt in his room.
I don't have to talk bullshit. I had a lot of fun in there.
Why not?
I was nervous going into the match. You guys have no idea how nervous I was. I was trying to find my groove, trying to listen to my music, but it was so hard. It's been a year since I've been competing inside this octagon. I wanted to go in there and I wanted to...
Oh yeah, there was a pretty big... He had a pretty big gap before he was supposed to be fighting Khabib.
Set me up for the next fight, which is the title fight. I am the champ.
So he says that's the title fight. I am the champ. So he's...
I haven't heard anything. Everything's been so busy.
So I would say he's calling out Khabib if Khabib's going to keep fighting. No, Conor still has big money fights that could be made. Conor should fight Nate and retire. He is still a legend. Conor will join Ronda in WWE. I couldn't blame him for that. He could probably do 4 shows a year like Brock Lesnar, and they would pay him a ridiculous amount of money.
Your victory dance is a bag of M&Ms and a can of Coke. After an epic war, yes, mate, yeah, get in. After such an epic war against Pettis, arguably fight of the night, is the can of Coke and the M&Ms going to cut it?
Pizza. You guys are like boring out here, but it's funny because it's the smaller things to me that make the biggest difference. Because that keeps me humble. You guys don't want me to have a big head like Conor. Trust me, you guys won't fucking like me. We'll be putting numbers on that pay-per-view stuff. You guys really want me to cut some promos. Trust me, it's cool. I clean them nice. You know, I don't need...
He said, you guys are boring me out here, says Tony Ferguson.
Even before that, I got big family friends. That's strong. You gotta try to take the...
I like Tony.
Beat me inside that octagon. And I don't see not one of these fighters in the UFC doing
Conor will take the cash and run if he's smart, and I am a Conor fan. MMA is not a striker's game anymore. He is still a star and great fighter, but Khabib is just on another level. I agree. I want a rematch between them, says Isaac. I don't want to see that. I feel like Conor's pride will hurt him, and he will want a rematch. And if he lost, then damn. Khabib the GOAT, no question. Conor is still a legend, but Khabib deserves respect. Tony Ferguson says he has a 401k. Damn. Rare for a fighter. Well, we should diversify. He should have an IRA. He should have all that stuff. I hope Conor put something away. He's made enough.
You heard a bunch of people just... if there's nobody getting too hurt in it, and this is Vegas. We're Vegas stronger. Right?
Khabib should retire after his next fight. Yeah, I say hold him out over him. If I'm Khabib, I hold it out over the UFC a little bit, and I fight whoever you want me to fight, but pay me. You know, if I'm Khabib Nurmagomedov, I'm telling the UFC, you want to see me fight, pay me. I'll fight wherever you want. I'll fight in Russia. I'll fight in Ireland. I'll fight in Mexico, wherever it is. Just pay me. So they just asked Tony how he'd match up with Khabib.
He was strutting up, doing his thing. I can't even do that shit. It's kind of cool. Throw elbows like Mexican. But he was strutting up, and I had my music on. And I could see a shadow, and I looked over my shoulder, and he stopped in his tracks. He saw fear. I saw fear, like the biggest fear ever. He forgot for a split second. The same way I saw him over at Mayweather when he was over at the presser. When I saw it, he doesn't want a piece of me. Management will make sure that I don't ever touch that guy because they know exactly I'll make that dude mincemeat. I'll chop that dude up, boom, and feed him to the dogs. You got Khabib. Khabib's a game opponent. He's a real fighter. I don't know about that BS that happened afterwards, but emotions flare inside there. You guys have no idea that what we have to prepare.
Well, you can tell Tony really wants to fight Conor by the way he's saying it. And he knows it's the easier fight. And it's more money.
What the UFC gonna do with that? That's not on me. I'm gonna prepare for the next guy.
Khabib versus Mayweather. Who you got? Well, in boxing, of course, Mayweather.
You sort of look into the camera and you call that Conor McGregor and Khabib, and not sort
In
of
MMA, come on.
given the tough year that you've had.
He said he's competed long enough. Talk about disrespect. I mean, I am not opposed to them fighting again. Conor has great heart. I just don't see a different result. They could fight 10 times and enough Conor ever comes close to a win. I agree, Justin. Bad matchup for Conor. Mike, you should try to get on Rogan's podcast. Come on, guys. Let's raise the fighter and the kid and Joe Rogan podcast to get Mike on. You know how many people are trying to get on Joe Rogan's podcast right now? I mean, I would definitely appreciate the support.
Being that you are a student of the game, and obviously
That would be amazing. I've been a big fan of Rogan for a very long time.
I think a lot of people learn more than I did. We all realize that Conor is human. Get it? I had a bunch of blood in my face tonight, and Conor didn't get to get bloody. Khabib, they're not those kind of fighters.
Yeah, that was one of the bloodiest fights that we've ever seen. Tony and Pettis. I mean, when John Anik and Joe Rogan were covered in blood. I mean, blood on Rogan's face, blood on the back of John Anik's shirt. That was pretty crazy. Since boxing, KSI versus Mayweather isn't a bad idea. Why doesn't one of these YouTube guys that don't know how to fight with 6 million followers, why don't they call me out? I don't have enough followers, but I'll fight for $8 a pop, a million pay-per-views. Come on. Says I'm a competitor. I outpointed my opponent and put him away. He did put him away. I think he would have finished. I think he probably would have finished Pettis in the third round too. It was headed that way.
One of the interesting things that came out earlier in the week is that you were potentially going to be paid $150,000 to show and a $5,000 win bonus. Is that accurate? And if so, why are you getting a $5,000 win bonus?
They offered me a finish bonus. You don't dangle money in front of me, expect to dance. I went in there and I said I want a win bonus, not a finish bonus. They didn't want to give me the other money, so I opted for 5. I said, give me something. Why? Because that's much more important to me. Like I said, I could retire tonight, take snap into a goal, and start making sure that my business is taking off very well. I'm going back to school, guys. I love everything that's going on right now.
So Tony fought for $150,000 tonight. Man, that falling and ripping that knee open, that really hurt his pocketbook.
Tony, right here. First and foremost, congratulations on the win.
If you want, we can meet and fight as professional UFC fighters. You gonna be a professional UFC fighter? I'm 40. I think my chance is over. There's always a part of me that thinks what McGregor did with the dolly and what just happened tonight is staged by Hollywood-owned WME /UFC. I really didn't want to talk about it a whole lot, Jason. Maybe a little bit selfishly because I wanted to continue to build the hype of this fight because I knew it was going to be good for everybody in the fight game. I knew it was going to sell a lot of pay-per-views. It was going to get a lot of views tonight. But the way that they had the cameras set up in the perfect spots and everything with the Conor attack and stuff, it's hard to not think that. Now tonight's thing, I don't know. That's a different story. I'm not completely sure about that. That could definitely be different. That I'd have to think about a little bit more. Like I told you, John Judd versus you in an MMA match. He's going to be a champ one day. I thought it was versus my son. Oh, when he is 12 years old. Just mess with you. I got it. I'm 14 years old, so you know. Well, I can't find any minors. Sorry, I'm not beating up. I'm not beating up on kids. But anybody else that wants to hit me up at heavyweight, put the money up there. I'm always ready. My wife says no. Can't wait to watch the fights. Anybody who wants some. No. No, I can't wait to see the next matchup. Though I'm not saying it's staged. I'm just saying it seems like it is, and there is a chance with more research it might be. I will, but Big John Judd against you at 360 MMA. Yeah, it might be. I've put a lot of thought into it, really, and when people were actually injured, though, and you know the scope, the magnitude that conspiracy would have to encompass, and all the mouths that they would have to keep shut. I'm not sure. If they do start staging things, though, that's going to be very bad for the UFC. You can do it when you're WWE because everybody knows it's fake, and you don't try to say otherwise. And when you're talking about you have all these professional commissions and everything, and I mean, this cannot be good for commissions. New York already doesn't want Conor fighting. They don't even want Conor McGregor in their state. They don't want him to set foot in their state. You should upload it now that it's done. Are you allowed? Oh, absolutely not. Sorry, JT. No, that will definitely get me. That'll probably get me arrested. Spend more time in jail than Khabib by the end of it. You can tell we were all drunk, said Judge. Hollywood can make anything look real. It's a good point, Mike. You saw it as a joke. Commissions mean nothing. Big John McCarthy versus Steve Mazzagatti would be fun. Mazzagatti would be fun to watch. Listen, you're the man, Mike, tonight. It was awesome. MMA is crazy. Khabib's a savage. Life is good. I hope you have a great night. Enjoy your Sunday. You too, man. You saw let Brock fight Juice to the gills. Yes, they definitely did. Well, I've been waiting for Conor or Khabib to show up. I was hoping they were going to show up. I got to admit, I'm about to fall asleep, guys. Maybe we'll talk about this a little bit tomorrow. He got everything coming in and out of the fight. Absolutely. But thanks for joining me for a fun night. It was a little different than what we all expected, I guess, but there were some good fights, and it was a good night. Peace, guys. Yeah, if everybody hit that like button before you leave. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe if you like what I do here. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses later.